Welcome folks, Jason here to walk you through the color guide panel in Adobe Illustrator. You may be saying, okay, what's the color guide? Or, yeah, I've used that before and it doesn't really do that much, or I don't understand it. Well, first of all, let's get the color guide happening. Go into the window menu, call up your color guide. Now, the color guide seems pretty simple. And it may look slightly different from yours here because there's a lot of options and there's a lot of things that you can do with the color guide. What is the color guide really for? Well, it's there for you to go ahead and get a whole series of colors without a whole lot of work. And in order to start getting the colors in your color guide to display, all you have to do is go to your Swatches panel and simply click on any color that's in your Swatches panel, or create a new color swatch if you'd like to start with a certain color swatch, and then get a whole bunch of different color ranges from that color. Now, if you do click on a color and nothing pops up here, then just go and click on this base color box, and that's going to then give you a whole series of colors. Now, when you start off, it may only give you a couple colors, and you may not have the full range here, but this is how it works. I'm going to start with my nice light blue here, and what I'm doing is I want a series of colors when I'm creating my vector artwork, and I don't want to have to go in and choose all these colors and say, are those the right colors? I want the color guide to do it for me. So now that I have set my base color in the initial color here, it's giving me the entire set of what's actually called harmony rules. And if you have a limited number here, go to the end with the drop down here, and you can see all your different harmonies. Complementary, split complementary, left, right, and this all has to do with the way these colors fall on the color wheel. So if you're looking for a range of colors that you're going to get opposites or complementary, or a left or a right complement, or analogous colors, colors that are the same, a monochromatic range, shades, tints, triads, which is basically drawing a color on the color wheel, tetrads, which is going ahead and drawing a square, compound colors, high contrast, pentagram, whatever. You can get your whole series of colors. So you have this beautiful list here that is all governed by a simple initial color choice. If I go to my lime green, that's going to give me a whole list of colors, and then I can say, you know what, I'd like analogous colors here, and it gives me the range. How wonderful is that? Well, pretty wonderful, because if you're not super good with picking colors, or you are good with picking colors, and you just want a series of colors already made for you, this is really nice to have. Now, we have our tints and shades based on our initial color and the entire set of colors that have been created from our color harmony. Let's go to the drop-down menu on the color guide, and we're going to go in and we're going to choose a different version here. So we can show tints and shades, or warm and cool, or vivid and muted. The default is showing tints and shades. Now there's one thing I realize is when you call up your color guide, you may see a small version of this, and that's because, for some unknown reason, Adobe decided that a small color guide is easier to look at. But if you're not seeing everything, click on your show option so you can see everything that I'm seeing here on this display. So, going back to our tints and shades, that is our default way of displaying the primary color and then all of the color harmony rules, or all the color harmonies, I should say, with that particular color. We can also go and show warm and cool. Now, our initial color that we have here is based on the triangle, and then this color is our base color, or our initial color that we set up. Then you can go warmer or cooler with those colors, or you can go vivid and muted with those colors, or of course creating tints and shades. Tint is adding white, shade is adding black. It's a wonderful way of doing this. Now, I also want to go to my color guide options, which allow me to create more or less steps or more or less variation. Right now, I have the variation slider set to more, which means I'm going to get a significant difference between our initial set of colors and their color harmony, so I get much darker shades and tints. If I choose less, I'm going to get very little variation between. I usually keep it on more. I can also get more or less steps as well, and the steps here, when I say 3 steps, it will be 3 steps darker and 3 steps lighter. This is 4, as the default. Set it to whatever you want, and then click OK. Now, this gives me a beautiful range of colors to choose from. So if I'm working on something like this watering can, and I've chosen my initial blue as the color, and I've gone in and chosen my complementary set of colors, you can see where I've pulled up my color of the watering can. So now if I wanted to get a darker tint of blue, I don't have to go in and try to make it and try to figure it out. This is a darker shade of blue. Shades are darker, tints are lighter. Have to make sure I mention that. If I want a darker shade of blue, it's already created it for me here, where I don't have to go and I don't have to make it up. Now, if I'd like to add this entire set of colors to my color panel here, or my swatches panel, so I have those, I can simply click on the lower right-hand corner here, and it's going to save this entire group to my swatches panel. It puts it all in a color group here. Now, this is great because it's gone in and it's applied all these colors to this. Now, what happens if I want to go in and I want to get a series of these colors like all the tints? Well, very easy. I go in and I can simply click on these colors here, and I'm going to hold down my Shift key and select those colors. And now I can add those selected colors as a group as well. So now these are going to be a much lighter version of that as well. You'll notice when I did that, it shifted all my colors because I had set my initial color to my base color, and I'm going to set that back here. Now, if I'd like to grab these shades of colors, I'm going to now go in, select, and hold down my Shift key and select all these and add those as my color group as well. So now I have my initial color group of my series of colors here that were my basic set of colors right there. And then I was able to get my tints and my shades added to my color group right there, which is absolutely fantastic. Okay? I love this feature because it's so helpful. Now I have my color groups that I can just go in, select the colors, and I'm good to go. If I'd like to go in and I would like to edit these colors in here, instead of using this set of color harmonies, I may want to go in and edit these colors. I'm going to click the Edit Color button here, and up comes my Edit Colors. And what this allows me to do is it allows me to edit the primary set of colors going down the middle. So I'm basically taking my color harmony that I have here and then tweaking it a little further. Now the key to this is going in and clicking on that little pinwheel, which is what I did here, and it brings up all of my colors that are going right down the middle, basically my color harmony. Now if I'd like to edit these colors independently, I'm going to go down to the link and I'm going to unlink the color harmony. And now I can click on any one of these little paddles here and I can move them in or out to saturate or desaturate that color. And I can also move them around the color wheel to change that color. You can see as we do, it begins to change those particular colors. And this is helpful if you'd like to take one of those colors and saturate or desaturate or just change the hue ever so slightly. Maybe you found that some of the colors are a little bit less saturated and you'd like to bring those into a more saturated range or kind of separate them out a little further from what the initial color harmony gave you. Now once I go and I've edited these colors, what I can do is I can save these by clicking on the new color group and having it go right into my color group section here. So now these colors have been saved, the ones that I've edited, here in my set of colors. Quite nice. I'm going to click OK. And you can see once I click OK, it adds this new edited color group to my swatches panel. Editing these colors was going right in here to the Edit Colors, bringing that up. Unlocking this if I'd like to edit the color separately. If you want to keep it locked, you can then run these colors around your color wheel, and it's going to shift them all in the same group. So with the color guide, I have all these different harmony rules. I've got different ways to display. Warm or cool could work very well. Vivid and muted also can work very well, or tints and shades. Pretty awesome. Now, you can also go in and you can pick and choose which colors you want to save. You don't have to save all your primary colors, but you may find ones that you like. And if you go in and you click on one and you shift click on another, it's going to save or select all those colors in between your first and your last. But if you'd like to be very picky about the colors and you'd like to pick and choose, you can select a color, hold down Command on the Mac or Control on the PC, and then you can very selectively go through and pick out your sets of colors that you'd like. Non-consecutive. And once you do that, click on the Save Color Group to the Swatches panel, and it will take and it'll save all those colors right there for you. So the color guide is a tremendous way of getting started by listing a primary color, then being able to go in based on that primary or base color, get your harmony rules, edit those colors, and save those colors for future use. The color guide is truly spectacular. Even if you are good with color, it's really nice to have this just to be able to go in, sample a color, get some harmonies, and then begin to be creative with those colors. Check out my other videos on color because there's a lot of interesting and unique features of color in Illustrator.